In the past 2 years, I've hopped on over 1,000 sales calls trying to sell GoHighLevel reputation management services to local business owners. And in this video, I put together the top 15 sales objections that I get on sales calls or even onboarding calls, and how to overcome them so you can get them set up and you can get them paying you every single month. If you don't know who I am, my name is Clay Lawrence, owner of ReviewHarvest.com. I make a little bit over $24,000 every month just helping local business owners get Google reviews. And I do this by white labeling GoHighLevel and selling these automated services. And if you don't believe me, feel free to check out reviewharvest.com/results and check out all of our video testimonials and case studies where we've helped local business owners add 100, 300, sometimes 500 plus reviews so they start ranking higher on Google and getting more business. So without further ado, let's start diving into some of these objections. So objection number 1, what if they have already left a review? So when does this come up? This normally comes up when we're on the sales call or even on an onboarding call and we're saying, hey, the first play in our playbook is to do a review reactivation. What we do on that review reactivation is we reactivate their entire customer list to help them get a bunch of reviews up front and a big win so they stay with us for a while. And so one objection that we'll get all the time here is, hey, what if they've already left a review? And so you can really take two routes here. One, you can do it, manually remove everyone from their list that has already left a review and just try and match it on Google. Google's not going to send us the data back of what email actually left the review. And so it's a very manual process of trying to figure out, does this name on Google match this name on their client list? So if you have the time and they're a big stickler about it, you can just remove them for you. But what I've found is that you can frame this in a way where they don't even mind and they're actually, okay, this might actually be a good thing for us to request reviews, again, even if they've left one. And so what you can tell them is that, hey, Google loves a review that was left yesterday a lot more than a review that was left 2 years ago. And so what's going to happen if somebody's already left you a review and they click on the link to leave a review, that review they put in previously is going to be in there in the comment and the star rating is already going to be there. And now all they have to do is just click on submit again, and now that review that was 2 years ago now is updated and now it looks like it was left yesterday. And so now they're going to start ranking higher on Google because review recency is one of the ranking factors in the search algorithm for people ranking higher on Google search. Also, if somebody left a review 2 years ago for your business, they probably don't even remember leaving that review. So they're not going to be like, oh, I already left your review, whatever. It's only when they've left a review in the last couple of months that they normally remember. And then even if they have already left your review, there's a good chance they might be logged in on their wife's phone or their husband's phone, or they might have multiple Gmail accounts. So maybe when they click on the link to leave a review now, they'll be logged into a different Gmail and they can leave you another review. And it's a little BOGO special. You get 2 for the price of 1. So for this little obstacle or objection right here, it really just depends on how much work you want to do. If they're being a huge stickler and they only have like 20 reviews, then it's probably worth it just to go ahead and remove those reviews for them. But if they've got like 400 reviews, you want to really try and sell the fact that, hey, they can update their reviews, Google loves to see that, etc. And just apologize in advance, my voice sounds awful. I've been sick all week, but I still want to get this video done and out to y'all. The second objection is, I don't have time to learn a new software. I don't have time to go ahead and set up your new little rinky-dink software to set it up to request reviews for my clients. Well, great news is that you don't have to learn anything, right? There's nothing you have to learn. All we need is 20 to 30 minutes on a Zoom call. And like I've said before, I'm not a sales master. I think normally when someone presents an objection, you want to kind of listen, make sure they know that you understand, so maybe reframe it or restate what they said, and then you kind of want to reframe it to get around it or kind of solve that problem. And also, some of these are going to be obstacles, not objections. So Alex Ramosi says obstacles are stuff that comes up before you make the pitch, before you say the offer, and objections are anything that comes up after when you're trying to get a card. And so for this objection right here, I don't have time to learn new software. It's really simple. We just tell them, hey, you don't have to learn anything. We're built to plug in directly into your current systems. So we want to integrate into your CRM so that your employees, y'all don't have to change a single thing that we're doing. We're just requesting reviews, responding to reviews, and turning these reviews into social media content in the background. And there's nothing you have to learn. I'll even tell our clients we're a lot more of a service than we are a software. So I'll say, hey, there's no reason for you to learn the dashboard and learn all the features and all that stuff like that. We're gonna get you set up in 20, 30 minutes and then you'll never have to log in again. If you have a question, just email us and we'll fix it for you. And so that way we frame ourselves as a service provider, and anytime we are emphasizing the service and not the software, we're gonna increase the perceived value of what the client should pay. All right, the third obstacle or objection is I don't have time for an onboarding call right now. I am so busy. So this is actually a really easy one. We just want to acknowledge what we heard and reframe it to, hey, we're taking something off your plate so you can become less busy. And so it's important when we're doing these things to try and sit on their side of the table and not get like confrontational and combative. But we want to say, hey, I understand you're so busy. I'm glad to hear that business is going well and you're getting all these jobs. This is probably the perfect time for us to do this so that we can start to take some of that stuff off your plate. If you can just give me 20 or 30 minutes on a Zoom call, we'll get all this set up so you never have to worry about requesting reviews, responding to these reviews, or turning these reviews into social media content. And we'll take all that stuff off your plate so you don't have to worry about Google reviews ever again. Also, since you're busy, that means it's the best time to do it because all of these customers that you're getting right now aren't getting requested to leave a review, and these would be great reviews for you to start getting so you can start ranking higher. Because obviously, reviews come after customers. And so now that all these customers are fresh, this is the best time to request a review from them. So if you can just give me 25 minutes, we'll get you set up, and then you won't have to ever worry about this again. And so just kind of reframe it like you're taking stuff off their plate. All right, so the fourth one is my CRM already does this. So this is the great thing about reviews. When it comes to reviews, we can just go to their Google business profile and see what results they're getting, right? If someone's asking about leads or sales, it's hard for you to know how many leads or how many sales they're actually getting. But reviews is a very public metric. So when people say, hey, my CRM already does this, I just pull up their review page on Google. I'm just like, yeah, it looks like you've gotten 6 reviews in the last year. I mean, do you think that this is the best? Like, have you only had 6 customers in the last year? And so once again, you want to hear them, you want to understand, you want to get on their side of the table, but you also want to reframe this and say, hey, if it already does this, how come it's not working? And what we normally say is like, hey, our only job is to get you reviews, right? Your CRM does your invoicing, your booking, your reminders. It does 100 different things. And so reviews to them is just one component that they're not really focusing on. But for us, our sole job is to get you more Google reviews. If we weren't able to do that, that would be pretty embarrassing for us. And so do you think that if we just focus on this, we'll be able to get you better results than just this one little feature that your CRM has? And also you can get really tactical here saying, hey, most of these CRMs just send out a basic review request message, no image, no personalization, no follow-ups and stuff like that. What we do is that since a lot of these CRMs do have that kind of default review request system built in, a lot of these consumers and customers that you're working with are getting banner blindness to this just little boring little text about, hey, can you leave us a review? It helps us grow our business, right? They're getting banner blindness to this because they're seeing that every time they work with somebody, right? And so what we do is we spend a lot of time on personalizing that message and making sure that the actual stimulus that we're sending to your customers and exposing to their eyeballs is going to get them to take action and leave you a review. And so when you reframe it that way, a lot of times they'll understand like, yeah, it's not working. And one thing is that if their CRM does already do this and they're already getting a bunch of reviews, then you can just ask, like try and figure out the conversion rate. Like, hey, what conversion rate are you getting? Are you getting a 5%, 10% review conversion rate? And if they're already getting a great conversion rate, you could say, hey, we might be able to get you a little bit better review conversion rate. Honestly, I don't know if that'd be worth it to you. If we could take your conversion rate from 10% to 20%, like would that be worth it for you? Because there's a good chance that if they're getting 10% just with a basic text and email, when we plug in our personalized images and some more advanced automations through HighLevel, you can get them a much better review conversion rate. And so then you just sell an increase and you just sell the fact that you're gonna be better, which can still be an easy sale because a lot of times people are more than willing to pay for something that's better. And they're the ones that book the call with you. So obviously there's some sort of pain underlying there. All right, so the 5th objection is my employees ask for reviews themselves. So like, hey, my employees already asked for reviews. Once again, reviews are a very public metric. We can just go pull up their Google business profile and see, yeah, well, I know your employees were supposed to be asking, but it looks like you've only gotten 2 reviews in the last 6 months. What's happening here? And so once they understand that we're hearing them, I still kind of lean into the fact that, hey, that's great that your employees are asking. Like, I would never recommend your employees not to ask. Like, I definitely think your employees should continue to ask. But the problem about having that human element of it is it sometimes just doesn't happen. Also, some of these businesses aren't seeing their customers face to face when they're leaving, right? So their customer might not be home or might not be dealing with them after the service. And so say, what we like to do is we like to just have this automation for text and email always set up so it's happening every single time like clockwork and there's no human error involved. And then when you put your employees asking on that on top of what we're already doing, your review conversion rate is going to go through the roof. And now your employees don't have to pull up a QR code or try and find a tap card or anything like that. Your employees can just say, hey, when I leave, you're going to get a text and email requesting a review. Would you mind taking a second to do that for us? And then get a little micro commitment from that homeowner or from your customer saying, hey, yeah, when I get that, I'll leave the review. When they get the text, it's a reminder, not an ask, because they've already said yes to it. All right, the sixth objection is I respond to my reviews already, I don't mind. This one comes up specifically talking about responding to reviews. And so you want to acknowledge the fact that I gotcha, I hear you. Make sure they know that responding to reviews isn't the only thing that you do. And then something that I like to do with the review responses is hey, I get it. It probably only takes you 5 minutes, right? But all these 5-minute tasks kind of add up, right? Instead of you going home right after work, you have to get on the computer and respond to 3 reviews. And what happens is you get on the computer, you respond to 3 reviews, and then you see 3 emails that you have to get to. And then you also see this thing on Facebook that you need to respond to in Facebook Messenger. And what happens is you just get distracted, and it's just something that you have to do that you honestly, if you just never had to worry about it, it would save you more than the 5 or 10 minutes because all the distractions that come up while you're doing that. And you get pretty technical here talking about task switching. So when you switch tasks, there's a lot of just waste when you have to kind of get your brain in that next mindset, and then you switch to the next task and you have to kind of switch your brain to, hey, I'm doing this now. And so you could talk about how it's saving them a lot more than just the 5 minutes it takes to respond to reviews, and really sell the fact that they never have to worry about it again. And every single person you hop on a call with, if they're a business owner, they're gonna say, oh yeah, I'm so busy. And so really try and sell that, hey, I'm just trying to take stuff off your plate so you never have to worry about it again. All right, the 7th objection is I don't want to bug my clients. So you can take this a couple different routes. You can say, hey, how many texts and emails do you want to send? We can adjust the messaging so that we don't bug your clients and that we don't send them as many follow-ups as we normally would. And so I normally will tell our clients, hey, our default sequence is 2 texts and 3 emails over 6 days. If they ever respond to a text, click the link to leave a review or anything like that, we'll quit messaging them so we're not bugging them. And just tell them that's kind of the default sequence and they can change it as they'd like. Or you can also go the route of saying, hey, we really do see it as a push-pull. The people that are going to work with you again, the people who are going to come back to your business and use you are probably more than willing to get texts from you and leave you a review. The people that are pissed off and they say stop and don't bug me or whatever, they're probably never coming back to you at all. And then there's probably this little middle ground where they still liked your service, they still thought you're a good business, but they just don't want texts and emails. So they can just say stop or unsubscribe, and no harm, no foul. They're not going to hold anything against that to you. So just explaining to these clients that, hey, first off, getting a stop or unsubscribe isn't the end of the world, and I wouldn't even tell them about that because we don't even give our clients access to the conversations anymore so they can see the responses back and forth, because that gets their emotions involved, and then they get all concerned about how many texts you're sending, stuff like that. And hey, we're just here to get you reviews, right? People are going to say stop, and it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean they hate you. But you can also give them the option if they're really concerned, say, hey, we're going to send 1 text and 1 email. That's it. You can also tell them, hey, if you have certain people you want to remove from this list, we can remove those people from your list before we even request reviews. So give them the optionality of all that. Number 8, what if I don't want to send a review request to everyone? So this is where you can basically say, hey, we've got a 2-hour or 3-hour wait step. Feel free to log into the dashboard and put them in on D&D, or feel free to text and email us. I actually have a form that our clients can fill out that automatically they can put a name and a phone number in, and it automatically adds that contact to D&D. And you can just say, hey, we have a couple hour wait step. You could also set up some filter steps through the CRM integration. And so this is a very practical one. So you just say, hey, if you're using Jobber, we can look for the no review tag. And if you add the no review tag, we won't request a review for them. And then also just saying we'll give you 3 or 4 hours, or if you want to increase that to a day, we'll give you a day to go in and remove that person before they get a review request. Also, if they really want to, you could set up the review filter page. Once again, we don't recommend that. We don't push that on all our clients. It's only if they want to, and they're really scared about negative feedback. Then you can say, hey, we have the review filter page. Even if they do get a review request and they had a negative experience, they'll click on the red frowny face, and then I'll take them to an internal page to leave internal feedback instead of taking them directly to Google. So there's a couple different ways that you can overcome that. The 9th objection is, what if someone leaves a bad review? So once again, you can use the review filter page here. You can say, totally understand, bad reviews are scary. Say, if you're scared that this client is really worried about that, you can't offer the review filter page. What I like to say first about a bad review is, hey, 1 bad review is going to add legitimacy to all your other 5-star reviews, right? So all consumer research points to 4.7 to a 4.8 being the most convincing star rating, because consumers can actually see that it's possible for this business to get a negative review. When people see a perfect 5.0, a lot of consumers will say, that's fishy. They can only get 5-star reviews. What are they doing? That's messed up, you know? That one bad review is going to add legitimacy to all your other reviews and can even increase your persuasiveness online. Also, you can go the very practical route saying, hey, our average review star rating is like 4.98. That's something that we tracked for the longest time. And like our average rating was like 4.97. Like for the most part, people don't really leave bad reviews, especially when you're doing a review reactivation and you're reaching out to these people like 6 months, a year later. Very rarely you're gonna get negative reviews. Also, when you're proactively asking people for reviews, you're gonna get a lot of those good reviews, whereas people that leave a bad review, they're gonna go directly to Google. People are way more likely to just leave a review at all without being prompted if they had a negative experience than they had a positive experience. So framing it in the way of like, hey, we can do the review filter page if you want to. That one bad review isn't gonna be the end of the world. It's gonna give you great feedback and it's gonna add legitimacy to all your other reviews. And then also saying, hey, honestly, we just don't get a lot of negative reviews. Between those three things, you should be able to kind of overcome that. All right, the 10th objection here is I want reviews on other platforms, Yelp, Facebook, etc. So you can definitely accommodate this. Now with GoHighLevel's new integrations into other review platforms and stuff like that, you can send the review link out and instead of it going to Google, you can do Yelp or Facebook. For 99% of our clients, the Google reviews platform is kind of where they get the biggest bang for their buck on their Google business profile, because not only is that review going to help them add some legitimacy and make their business profile more persuasive, make them look like the no-brainer option in the area, it's also going to help them rank higher on Google. So they're getting more awareness and they're doing a better job of converting that awareness. So normally Google is kind of the no-brainer option for that. Also, when people ask me about Yelp, I just tell them, hey, it's actually against Yelp's terms and conditions to send somebody directly to leave a Yelp review. And even if they do leave a Yelp review, it's going to pop up under the not recommended reviews on Yelp. So Yelp really only wants people leaving reviews on Yelp that actually use Yelp all the time. So if you look at the Yelp reviews and the ones that actually show up, those are like Yelp users that go on Yelp all the time and book stuff and click on stuff. Whereas if you're just a net new user, you never use Yelp, you don't have an account, and you create a new account to leave somebody a Yelp review, it's not going to show up. It's going to pop up under not recommended reviews and nobody's going to see it. And in terms of Facebook reviews, like if somebody runs a lot of Facebook ads or they get a lot of traffic on their Facebook page, this could make sense. I mean, you can obviously accommodate this if you like, but for the most part, we like sending everybody directly to Google because that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. You're going to rank higher on Google, more people are going to find you, and yeah. The 11th one is I don't want to share my customer list. So this is really just a trust thing and it's really hard to overcome. I mean, in the past, especially when I was just getting started, I didn't have all this social proof out there that, hey, Review Harvest is a legit company. We don't do anything nefarious or anything wrong, stuff like that. I used to grab my credit card and put it on the screen and say, hey, here's my credit card info. Take a screenshot of this. If I do anything wrong with your customer list, run it for all it's worth. I don't think I ever had anybody screenshot or anything like that, but it's just trying to show them like, hey, it would not be in our best interest to do anything wrong. We just want to get you reviews. This information is not going to be sold or shared, or we're never going to reach out to these people except for on your behalf to request reviews. And so you can show them your privacy policy on this. I would say like 10% of business owners are really weird about their customer list, and like the other 90% don't care at all. And so it's just one of those things. You just want to make sure they trust you. It's more of a trust thing. And so figuring out, say, hey, I don't want to do anything wrong here. Like, what can I do to help you trust me more? So yeah, the customer list thing is mainly just a trust thing. Most people aren't going to care, but that will come up every now and again. All right, number 12 here is that I don't want to give you access to my CRM, my Google business profile, etc. So the great thing, if you're getting somebody onboarded directly into HighLevel, they don't even have to add you to their Google business profile. They're just connecting Lead Connector, this third-party tool, to their Google business profile by clicking on that connect button. So you can explain that to them saying, hey, actually, I don't have access to do anything. I just have access to see the reviews that come through the dashboard and respond to them and stuff like that. You're not actually adding me to your Google business profile. And in terms of giving access to their CRM, there's a couple of different things you can go through with this. So you can get them to log in to your Zapier account or your Make account, and you can get them to connect their app into there. Instead of them giving us their login to their CRM, we're giving them our login to Zapier just to connect it. And once again, explain that, hey, you're just connecting your CRM to a third-party tool. I can't go into your CRM through this tool. I can just get the information that we're gonna send our way when a customer's job is completed or when we have a new customer or stuff like that. And so explain to them, hey, we're not getting access to anything. You're just connecting it to our systems so that we can request reviews and respond to it and stuff like that. And then if you are actually needing to get access to their CRM because it's maybe a more complex integration and you need to play around with it, not on a Zoom call, or because you're not able to create the CRM integration and you want to download their list for them every week or every 2 weeks and stuff like that, then once again, you just kind of have to go back to the trust thing of saying, hey, it's not in my best interest to do anything wrong here. Like, I'm only going to use this data to request reviews on your behalf. And if anything happens, like, here's my credit card, run it for all it's worth. And that's one of those things that as you get more trust, as your business gets bigger and stuff like that in the marketplace, you won't have to worry about it as much, but there's still going to be those, business owners out there who are kind of crazy about that stuff. And so you just want to make sure you're explaining, hey, you're not giving me access to anything if they're clicking on the connect buttons, but if they are adding you, it's just a trust thing. All right, 13th thing here is, what is your privacy policy? So, honestly, if you're getting started, you probably just went to ChatGPT and created a privacy policy, but you want to tell ChatGPT like, hey, we're not selling this information. We're not using it to reach out to them on our behalf. We're just reaching out on your behalf to request reviews, all this stuff. So you can just direct them to your privacy policy. Once again, not legal advice. I don't know much about this stuff, but that is something that I get asked, like, hey, give me your privacy policy rundown. Get what's happening with this data, all that stuff. So just have some sort of answer prepared to make them feel better, saying, hey, we're not doing anything with your data, we just request reviews. All right, the 14th obstacle or objection here is, I don't want a new phone number or multiple different phone numbers. So this one's so funny. I never hear this one anymore, but literally the reason I didn't do review requests for so long was because I was like, I'm gonna have to get a new phone number for everybody, or I'm gonna have to port their number over. No one's gonna wanna do that, right? That's crazy talk. But literally what happened was, on my first 10, 15, 20 onboarding calls, I was bringing it up, and it was a big deal to some of them. But then what I started doing is less said's best said. My job is to get them reviews. I don't need to tell them every single detail of the process. So I just kind of stop bringing up the fact that we're going to get a new phone number for them. I would just kind of say, hey, we're going to text and email your customers to request reviews. And most business owners don't even think about it, right? And so you can tell them, you can also frame this and say, hey, I know the last thing that you want is another inbox or another phone number to manage and respond to and check and make sure that nothing's slipping through the cracks and leads aren't responding or people are asking for service. And so we'll set up an auto reply on this. So if anybody responds, say, hey, we don't have access to your reply here, text us at this number or call us at this number or go to our website here. That way we're always kind of closing that loop so nobody's getting lost in the cracks. But honestly, if you just don't mention the fact that, hey, we're purchasing a new phone number and it's going to be from a new phone number, then 95% of the time, business owners are not going to bring this up. All right, the 15th and last objection here is, you can't integrate seamlessly into my CRM. So I don't want to have to upload every contact manually. So if you're not able to create a good CRM integration to get the customer's contact information into your system to request reviews and stuff like that, then here's kind of the 3-step process that I go through. Number one, and the best thing, would say, hey, you add me to your CRM and my virtual assistant or myself will go and export your list every week and will request reviews from all your new customers. The second best thing is, if they're tech savvy, showing them how to download a customer list in their own CRM and upload it into our, into HighLevel to request reviews that way. If they're tech savvy, that way they can do it, etc. The third thing is that if they're not very tech savvy, they can still export a customer list. Maybe they don't want to add you to their CRM. Just say, hey, email me this list every week, every 2 weeks. We'll put you on an automated reminder to remind you to send us your new customers, and we'll get you some new reviews that way. The fourth thing is that, let's say they're a lower volume client, they're a lower volume person, they don't get a bunch of new customers. And let's say they don't know how to use a computer at all, or maybe they don't even use a CRM. What you can do is you can set up an automation to text them every 3 or 4 days to fill out a form. And this form can just be, hey, give me your new customers that you want to request a review. And it's like name, email, phone number, whatever. They click send review request after they put their information in, and it's sending a review request. They can refresh the page and add 2 or 3 customers every couple of days. And so that way you're constantly reminding them with that automated text and email to add new customers. So that's how I overcome GoHighLevel reputation management objections and obstacles on sales calls. If you made it this far in the video, you're probably interested in signing up with HighLevel or starting making money online, selling these Google review automation services to local business owners. So if you are interested in that, then there's literally one place you need to be, and it is in the HighLevel house, where there's 618 other people doing this same exact stuff. We're all learning from each other. We're all figuring out how to get numbers verified and how to sell people and how to do outreach together. In here, you get 2 coaching calls with me every week where I'll hop on, meet you where you are, and answer any questions you'll have. You can see Jonathan right here. He just added 7K in MRR just from selling Google reviews to local business owners. And also we have sales call recordings, onboarding call recordings, how to set up your account, everything from A to Z goes over in this account. So if you don't have a HighLevel, feel free to sign up with my link down below in the description. You'll get an extended 30-day trial instead of the normal 14 days. And then also, if you're already a high-level user, you can just upgrade to the next plan, like the $297 plan or the $497 plan, and you'll get free access to this community. If you're already a high-level $497 user and you do want to still sign up, you can sign up directly to the school link down below in the description, but I would love to see you in here. And if you want to see exactly how I make $24,000 every month just helping local business owners get Google reviews, check out this video right here. Peace.